AITA for not helping my neighbor with her groceries. When I moved to my new neighborhood a year ago, I was not prepared for the whirlwind of social dynamics that often unfolded. Just a week after I arrived, I got an earful about my neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins. Everyone warned me about her, how she was cranky, lonely, and seemed to have a never ending anger toward the world. Honestly, I tried to avoid her as much as possible. Old ladies could be spicy, especially the ones who complain about lawn gnomes. One sunny Saturday, I was in my garden, watering the plants and admiring my fledgling tomatoes when I saw Mrs. Jenkins struggling to carry a couple of heavy grocery bags. For a brief, fleeting moment, I thought about rushing over to help her. But the stories echoed in my mind. She was a bitter woman. Nobody wanted to deal with her wrath. Instead, I kept tinkering with my herbs, wanting to avoid any fallout. "You know, it wouldn't kill you to lend a hand," she shouted from across the street. I resisted the impulse to turn and shout back some excuse, instead focusing on a particularly stubborn weed. I heard her huff towards her front porch, a grumble of discontent escaping her lips, and I felt a pang of guilt. Days turned to weeks, and our paths crossed overhead like commuter trains. Lots of noise, little substance. Then came the day when everything changed. I returned from a long day at work, only to find a commotion outside. Mrs. Jenkins' son was yelling something about the paramedics. I dropped my bags and rushed over to investigate. Turns out, she had collapsed in her kitchen. The helicopter blades of panic spiraled through my mind as I watched her being wheeled away. I felt awful. Was she really as alone as everyone said? Did I just let my fears get the best of me? I decided it was time to step up, guilt blazing in my gut. The following morning, I knocked on her door, not really knowing what to expect. I wanted to see how she was doing, maybe offer assistance in even the smallest way. When she answered, her face was pale and sunken, but her eyes sparked a fire. "What do you want?" she snapped, her voice steelier than I remembered. I heard what happened. I wanted to check in. Can I help with anything?" I stammered, half expecting her to slam the door right in my face. Instead, she narrowed her eyes a little, but then softened just a touch. "Help? You mean like bringing me soup or something?" "Sure, I can do that. I make a mean chicken soup," I replied. A hesitant smile flickered across her lips. For the first time, I felt I was standing on common ground. Through the next couple of weeks, I would stop by with food, and sometimes we'd sit and talk. I learned her favorite flavors, her lost dreams, and her stories. They unfolded like petals in sunlight. She was a widow, once lively and humorous, who had lost a son decades ago. Her bitterness was peppered with heartache, not just a sour demeanor. The more I helped her, the more immense gratitude she showed. She knitted me a colorful scarf and regaled me with tales from her youth, memories of which I could only dream about. She became my accidental friend, the last person I would have thought I'd ever connect with. One sunny day, I arrived to find the yard littered with the remnants of fallen leaves. I offered to help with her garden, and she stood there, her expression awash with surprise. "I never thought anyone would help me without begrudgingly doing so," she admitted. Am I the asshole for avoiding her for so long? I thought. No, but I learned an invaluable lesson about kindness and not letting preconceived notions steer my actions. Eventually, Mrs. Jenkins healed and moved past her bitterness. And get this, I found a best friend in the most unexpected of places. It's funny how a little kindness can change even the most jaded hearts. I still, to this day, marvel at how I could have almost missed the chance to be a part of someone's life who turned out to be so rich and colorful. So while I still kept my distance from gnomes, I gained a closer connection with Mrs. Jenkins, and I can genuinely say she made my little world better.